Well, boys, girls, and Z's, it is now officially time. It's now officially when the whole production to get the hell out of Dodge starts happening. So it's officially 11:29 right now. So it's 11:29 on Monday. I literally just got done taping Monday's vlog video, and so that is going through the uploader right now. And so it is now time to start packing all the stuff. So it's 11:30 right now. And we're going to have to leave the house at 4 o'clock, I figure, to make sure that we can get through all the beltway traffic of both Baltimore and DC to get to Dulles on time. So we still got about 4.5 hours, but this is the point where you've got to go and you've got to start doing things like all the packing. So right now, the next project is basically taking all of this stuff right here, plus a few other things, and packing them into that pack. So that is the pack that I'm taking to Thailand. It's the pack I actually took to Thailand last time. Again, that's one of the funny things for some of the young people to realize is that pack right there is 11 years old. Might actually be older than 11 years. That might be like 12 years old. And that's just another one of those things in there. So again, when you think about like old people laughing at young people, just realize we have things like backpacks that are almost as old as you are. So one of the nice things is whenever you're going to be going out and packing for any kind of trip, what you want to do is you want to lay out everything so that you can see it. To make sure that you actually are going to take it. So so I have my pack there. So I go, okay, pack. There's my little money belt. There's my extra camera. There's the battery for the camera. There's a charger for the camera. There's the two flashlights. There are the hard drives for my computer so I can offload stuff. There's the Kindle. There's the converter. There's my wife's Kindle. There's a battery. There's an extra battery that I'll be taking. So you come down here and you go, okay, I've got 2 shirts. And you think, oh, but I'm supposed to have 3 shirts. So where's the other shirt? I have 1 pair of socks. Oh, but there's supposed to be 3 pairs of socks. Where's the other socks? And I look here. It's like, okay, 1 short, 1 pant, 1 swimsuit. Look over, that's an overshirt, that's a Katadyn, that's the water filter, that's the pack security mesh thing, that's my umbrella, that's some of the computer stuff, there's my traveler's checks, there's my passports, make sure I got the passports, there's my bicycle helmet, there are my 2 hats, there's my rain gear thing, there's my little bottle thing, there's a little over thing, there are my sandals, there are my water bottle. So I can sit here and I go, okay, what is not here that should be here? And I go, I know what's here. I know what's not here. My socks are not here. My towel is not there. And my shirts are not there. And so I can think about it and go, I know my wife was cleaning last night, doing all the laundry and stuff. So I think those were air drying. So if I come down here, it's like bum, 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 bum. Where are they? It's like, okay, well, here we go. So here's a towel for me. There's a towel. There's the 2 other things. There's 2 pairs of socks right there. Here is an extra shirt, and here is an extra shirt, and there we go. That is what I need, and then I can take this stuff up. And so the important thing is when you lay out all of the stuff that you're taking in this way, you can really make sure that you don't forget anything. Like even now, it's like, oops, and I forgot my books. So we go around, you're like, where are the books? So, okay, so we got our books. So we got our Thailand book, and we got our Colombia book. We got Lonely Planet. Lonely Planet is the bunny books of the travel world. So in the technology world, if you want to learn coding, I tell you guys to buy the bunny books, the visual quick start guides. If you're going to be traveling, I like Lonely Planets. Lonely Planets are good. It's so weird. I'm not using Lonely Planet on a shoestring. Like Lonely Planet on a shoestring. I mean, that was what I lived my life by for like a year or so as I traveled around the world. But now we're just doing plain old Lonely Planets. So that's one thing. If you're going to be buying Lonely Planets, is they have multiple series of books. So these are the normal ones. So like Discover or whatever. So these are going to be the more expensive. So they talk about hotels. Like if we look at this, they show you pictures. They give you information. But they also... that's the temple. It gives you eating. It gives you sleeping. So Krasang Place or whatever includes breakfast, 400 to 450 baht. Again, as I say, 35 baht to the dollar. So that's, I don't know, 13 bucks or something. Having more in common with a small apartment building than a hotel, blah, blah, blah. So the one thing is just to realize is if you don't buy the on a shoestring books, they're going to be a little bit more expensive. But That's the books. So we put them here, and then I take my clothes, and it's like, okay, socks go there, shirt goes there, towel goes random place, and I think that's about it. I really do think that's about it now. So that's one of the things, is what you do is you lay all this stuff out, and then when you think about packing is realize I'm not going to be wearing these clothes. So my styling clothes, my jeans and my Henley shirt are not what I'm going to be wearing tonight. And so again, when you're packing, that's one thing to think about. So what you do is you take out what you are going to be wearing. So I will wear this, so I'll wear that on the plane. Come in here, I will wear my fancy Lululemon pants on the plane. I will wear a pair of socks on the plane. I will wear a shirt. We'll just take that shirt. I'll take a shirt on the plane. Then I'll also do the overshirt on the plane. And then one of my underwear. Oh yeah, don't forget the underwear. Under Armour underwear. So I'll wear that, right? And so that's a trick too that we're doing tonight with being on the plane is I'm going to do a final shower. So I'm going to shear myself and take a final shower at about 3 o'clock. And so especially since we're going to be traveling for like 30 hours, is even if you shower in the morning, you know, you got to wait all the way till you get on the plane. That's 24 hours on the plane, blah, 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 blah. It can be a long time to have a shower. And then again, if you haven't showered for a while, you just feel like crap. So what we'll do is I'm going to shear myself and get all cleaned up and put these clean clothes on literally right before we hop in the car. And so that'll make us more comfortable during our little journey. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it. So with that, I'm going to start packing all this stuff up. And next time I see you guys, I don't know, maybe I'll show you what the pack looks like when everything's packed up. So as I'm doing the packing, it's now officially 1:54, so I'm just getting everything finished up. I had lunch, I'm about to shear myself, about to take a shower. We've kind of cleaned up the house and all that kind of stuff, but I pre-packed everything into my bag, and it was a little bit tight. It was a little bit tight pre-packing everything in the bag because we're taking things like since my wife wants to do bike riding, to make sure we have them, you know, taking a bicycle helmet, which is a big amount of space, and also since my wife is all eco and all that kind of stuff, taking Nalgene bottles. And the problem with Nalgene bottles is they actually take up a decent amount of space. So the last time I traveled, I actually had these weird like laminated canteens that would just kind of fold up on themselves, but we're taking Nalgene bottles. And so I'm sitting there and I'm shoving all this stuff into my pack, and I'm like, oh, this pack is bigger than I wanted it to be. And so then I came up with a solution. But I'm a little worried to see how it's going to work when I go through the security check. Because look at what my solution is. Oh yes, when you have Nalgene bottles and you have a bunch of little electronic things, just shove the electronic things into the Nalgene bottle. No, that can't possibly be mistaken for anything. That's not gonna make me stay in the security line for an extra 5 minutes. No. But, oh well, as they say in life, you gotta try, you gotta do what you gotta do. So yeah, I shoved all those little bits into the Nalgene bottle. And I will be curious, does anybody want to place a bet on just how horrible my bag gets searched when it goes through the X-ray machine? Who knows, who knows. But I am uploading the last video, so I did videotape a video for you guys for today. Well, today is now 2 days from now, probably when you're watching this. But it is officially finishing uploading right now. It's got 2 minutes remaining. And ironically, of course, with how things go, that this is like the longest it's taken to upload in a long time. It actually started having quirks today. Like normally there's no quirks, there's no problems. I just upload it, you know, 13, 14 gigs takes an hour, hour and a half. And then today I had to start it and I had to restart it and restart it again. And I'm like, oh, are you crapping me? Are you crapping me? On the one day when it actually matters, it's causing me problems. And again, that's a lesson from the real world of IT. The one day it actually matters is when everything goes to hell. But anyways, with that, let me go shear myself and pack these into my bag. I'll let you know how the security experience goes. So the shearing is officially complete. It is now 2:24, and I have officially become hairless. or at least as hairless as most of you people will ever see me. So normally I go for a much longer guard on my razor when I shave, but being that we're gonna be over in Southeast Asia for 6 weeks and this is gonna grow out significantly and it's already hot as hell there, we're going down to babyface Eli. My wife laughed at me. She said I look a lot younger when I look like this. She's like, what? Takes years off your face. So yep, we are now officially on the adventuring trek. So 2:30 in the afternoon, Eli has been sheared. The next process is packing up the computer and packing up the bag to go. And so packing is officially complete. So literally everything that I'm taking is in this one bag for 6 weeks. Well, the bag and the coat there. So inside there is a bicycle helmet, which is big. I normally wouldn't take. 2 Nalgene bottles, which are big, which I wouldn't normally take, but my wife is all eco and all that kind of stuff. I actually have my computer in there. I have a spare camera in there. So there's a lot of extra stuff in there that I probably normally wouldn't take, but since I'm going with my wife this time, I will. And it all fits into this bag right here. So if we take this, just throw this on. Oh yeah, that's feeling good. That's feeling how life should be. Just clip these around. Dun dun dun. Get this to connect. Oh yeah. This feels good. So yeah, this is how I'll be looking. How we'll be traveling as we go through Thailand and Cambodia for the next 6 weeks. Obviously my hair will grow out, but that's a good thing with shaving it this short is in 6 weeks, you know, it won't get too bushy, because that's what I was a little worried about is, you know, my hair gets so bushy, and again around here in the US that's not a big deal, but there it gets bloody hot. It gets hot, you know what I'm saying? So keeping it about this length should be good. So yeah, we'll just go, we'll have the pack on, we'll hit the trains, we'll hit the buses, we might hit a couple of planes. One thing with packing the way that I have here is this is the worst it'll be too, because everything has to fit nice and neat in order to go on the airplane. So like, once we get to Thailand, even when we're traveling there, like by train or bus, I can pull the helmet out and have the helmet clipped to the top. And also, like with the Nalgene bottles, instead of having the Nalgene bottles inside like they are now, I can put them into little water pockets on the side. So really, like as far as packing is concerned, the real pain in the ass is just to get through the airlines, especially for carry-on. So since I have my computer and all that in here, I want to make sure this gets carry-on. But then once we get there, it's not too bad. It's kind of like one of those expanding things, you know, one of those little sponges. You put a little water on, it goes, right? That's kind of what happens with a backpack, because, you know, one thing gets strapped here and another thing gets strapped here, and all of a sudden, it's bigger, but it's a lot more manageable to deal with. So yeah, not quite sure what time it is right now. I rented 3 movies. I rented 3 movies for my little iPhone SE to take on the trip, to make life a little easier. We've done that. House is all locked up and that, and the people that are supposed to watch it know they're supposed to watch it. Keys and all that stuff have been dealt with. Cars have been dealt with. Packing has been dealt with. So overall, we are ready to go. The one warning too that I would give for anybody who is going to be leaving, especially for any kind of extended trip, is always make sure you turn off your water. Water is a big one, because the thing is, like if you have a leak while you're gone for a month, here's the thing: if you have a leak and you're gone for a month and the leak happens on the 29th day, it'll do a amount of damage. But if you have a leak and that leak started on the first day, that means you have 30 days of water built up in your house. So the one big warning I will give you for if you're going to be sealing up your house is basically to turn off the water. I would say generally turn off, like in this type of weather, since it's not going to get freezing, turn off the water and turn off the HVAC system so you don't have any weird things. But that is the warning I will give you. If you're going to be leaving a house for any amount of time, make sure to turn off the water, because the Lordy help you. If something stupid happens while you're gone, our little water pump, it'll just go 24 hours a day until somebody turns it off. So anyways, with that, I'm going to take off this pack. I'm going to put my feet up. Maybe grab my last cup of coffee. Before we hit the road. Okay, so it is now 3:53. We were theoretically supposed to leave at 4 o'clock even. That never quite works out. But anyways, we're doing the final closing up for the house. So now we will be turning off the power, a lot of the major power systems, and then turning off the water. Again, if you don't want some weird random thing to happen to your house, the more things you have on, the more likely it is weird random stuff will happen to your house. So let's go over here. I'm in our basement now. The basement, a long time ago, I thought would be my office, and it is not the office. So let me see here. All of that stuff will stay on. So I actually have 2 power panels here. The house is big enough. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn off the heat pump, the dryers, the water pump, and all that kind of thing. And now that's gonna bitch at me. But basically, again, the reason you do this type of thing, so a lot of the power stays on. So, you know, the refrigerator, all that kind of stuff stays on, but then these major power things go off. Because again, just in case something random happens, again, you know, that once a 20-year event, you don't want it to happen, you know, 3 minutes after you walk out the door for 6 weeks. Come back in here where it's still a mess because I've been doing even more work inside, but oh well. And then we go over and we deal with the water. So we come over here, we have our nice little water pump and all that kind of stuff. And so basically, we've actually got 2 things. So we seal the water off there, and we seal the water off there. And now even if a pipe bursts somewhere, well, there won't be any water damage. And again, even if that whole pipe system failed right there, even if that whole pipe system failed right there, one of the breakers that I threw was actually for that water pump. So this is something to realize, like if you ever get a well system, how our well system works is we have a water pump that goes down into our well, that pumps water into here, and then this is actually the pressure tank that then gives the whole system enough pressure to be able to pump water throughout the house. Unfortunately, we have this mess. So at some point, when this thing fails, it's another $1,500, but the new water pump we have, so our old water pump failed a couple years ago, so we bought a new water pump, and the new water pumps that they have for well pumps, you actually don't necessarily have to have this anymore. There's like an additional thing you put on that well pump, and then you can get rid of all of this, but it costs an extra $1,500 at the time. So that's one of those things. When that thing fails, that will go away, and we'll spend $1,500 so we get more space down here. But again, this is like the random thing, like being a man, and understanding how all of your systems work is again, just little things like well pumps. And that's what I'm trying to teach you here at Fail Normal. All this random ass crap, nobody teaches you anymore. Alright. I don't know how I'm used to this. This is gonna be a little bit to get used to. But oh well. This will be very nice in about 40 hours when I'm in 105-degree heat. Okay, so it is now officially 4 o'clock when we're supposed to go. So I guess we're going, technically, right? Going, putting all the stuff in the car, and leaving. Dun dun dun. So let's see here. Take the little small car today. The one place that we're going to get screwed with the car, though, is originally I thought we were only going to be leaving for a month. And so the long-term parking at Dulles is $10 a day. And so 30 days times $10 is $300. So $300 for parking compared to however much a shuttle would cost was a very reasonable amount of money. But now that we're staying 6 weeks, it may have actually been less expensive. If we had just gotten a shuttle. But again, those are the things you have to think about. But again, like I say, that's the kind of stuff you have to think about. When the airport you're going to is an hour and a half away, how much does parking for that airport cost? I don't know. How much does it cost? I get motivated for this drive. This drive is going to suck. Hour and a half. But thankfully, we're a little early in the beltway traffic. So hopefully beltway traffic won't be too horrible.
Frontier, Iceland Air, JetBlue, Lufthansa, Porter, SAS, South African, Frontier, Tata, Turkish Airlines, and
Thank you.
So it's like 7:30, 7:40. We're officially here at Dulles. Wasn't too bad. Check-in wasn't too bad. Getting the seats wasn't too bad. So thankfully we got seats together, and we got one person has an aisle seat and one person has the inner seat. And so basically just sitting here waiting to board. So even though it leaves at like 9:20, they're gonna start boarding at 8:20. Is it just me, or did they start boarding planes a lot earlier? So we're like in zone 1, so we have to get on there. The only quirk I found so far with Qatar Airlines is that they really do actually weigh your carry-on luggage. So I have my bag, my carry-on bag, and we packed my wife's bag as full as possible because she has all the liquids. And then so we gave them her bag. And then after we gave them her bag, they said, okay, well, we need to weigh your carry-on. I was like, what? Really? They need to weigh the carry-on? And so they, in fact, weighed the carry-on. So I had to take a couple of things out of it. Though it is kind of stupid, because like literally I took stuff out of my carry-on to put it in my wife's carry-on. So it was still the same amount of weight going onto the airplane. But anymore, if you understand what's going on with planes, you're doing better than me. So anyways, we are now into this day. We have driven all the way here to Dulles. Thankfully, the drive was pretty good. The drive was pretty easy. It took like an hour and 45 minutes to get here, and then we had to get on the bus, and then from the bus we had to get here. So overall, that wasn't too bad. I just had a little dinner. Very bad hamburger and fries. Anyways, so next time I talk to you guys, you folks, I will either be in the air or we will be landed in Doha. We'll see how that goes. So we are now in Doha. We have been here for a couple hours now, hour and a half or so. The first 13-hour part of the flight went pretty well. I do have to say Qatar Airlines does a good job. It was also very nice flying Qatar because it was only like half full. That was the first flight I've been on in a long time where lots and lots of people like spread out over 3 seats and just went to sleep during the flight. So that was a good thing. Again, when you're on flights, the less full the flight is, it just feels better. So my wife and I, there were 3 seats, and we were just in 2 of them. And then, everybody else just kind of spread out, so that was nice. Not a bad problem with bathrooms or any of that. Food was good. I also like with these international flights, they actually have good entertainment systems. So I sat there and just watched a lot of movies and fell asleep during a lot of movies. They even had like the Marvel series of movies. So they had like all 3 Iron Mans They had a couple of Thors. They had two Captain Americas. They had Guardians of the Galaxy. They had both Avengers. So you just click through there and go through and have a little Avengers marathon while flying. So overall, it was good. All the people on Qatar were nice. It was a very nice new airplane. So good. So now, so the first bit was it was 13 hours basically go from Dulles to here. Then we have about 3.5 hour, 4 hour layover here. And then after that, it'll be 6.5 to 7 hours to get to Bangkok. Now, what I'm excited about going to Bangkok is if you guys look over there and look at the plane, I am pretty sure that right there is the plane that we're going to be using, flying. And so that's one of the big beasts. I have never been in one of those big beasts before. So this is, I think it's the Airbus like 500 series, literally double decker, just supposed to be insanely big. So I've never been on one before, so I have literally no idea how it'll be, but it'll be interesting at least. It'll be exciting. So yeah, gonna be doing that. Gonna be flying. Oops, zoom back out, and then once we fly in, we will take a taxi ride down to our hotel, and we'll see how that goes. I'm a little concerned to see like what early check-in will be for a hotel in Bangkok, because we're gonna get in at 7 a.m. on the morning Bangkok time. So we have to pick up my wife's bag at the carousel. Then we have to get a taxi. So even if that's slow, let's say we get from the airport to the hotel like 8:30 in the morning. I don't know how early check-in is going to work out with that. So, right, normally I quibble a little bit with early check-in. If you get in at like 1 or 2 o'clock and they don't let you get into the hotel, I get a little snarky. But I do have to say, when you get in at like 8:30 in the morning, it's understandable if they don't want to deal with you. So we shall see how that goes. Otherwise, like I say, the trip is going pretty well so far. Like I say, the trip was comfortable. The people were nice. The food was decent. The entertainment was good enough. Like right now, I'm just tired. It's just so weird too, because it's like we're in Doha now, and obviously, if you look out, it's dark. So it is 7 o'clock here, but I think on our time, so it's 7 p.m. here, and our time, is my phone still on? Yeah, my phone's still on. Not. I think it's only like noon our time. So again, that's one of the things that really screws you up with these long distance trips. It's not just the jet lag. Flying to Europe with jet lags is one thing, because you fly there and they're 3 or 4 hours off or 5 hours off, but it's a short trip, and so jet lag's the problem. Or going, like when I go to the West Coast, I have issues with jet lag. Here, it's not just the jet lag; it's also the 30 hours of traveling, right? So we left the house at 4 o'clock p.m. Didn't get on the flight till 9 p.m. We were then 13 hours on the flight. Then we have, what I'm saying? So it's like 30 hours. So it's not just jet lag. It's all of it. But anyways, so far it is going well. I am kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised my bag hasn't been searched at all. It's gone through through 2 scanners quite fine. So I'm a little shocked with that, because I have all of that electronic stuff shoved into a Nalgene bottle. I really would have thought that would have raised some flags. But no, that actually has not raised any flags. Anyways, I'm just keeping you folks up to date as we go along. The only issue I have seen so far in this whole thing is some people are kind of smelly. I did notice on this trip, there were a few people that were a bit ripe. And again, ripe in the normal world, don't really worry about. Ripe when you're stuck on an airplane at 30,000 feet. That's the only issue. Otherwise, everybody's been all nice and good and great and wonderful. So, anyways, I'm kind of tired, so I'm gonna go and, I don't know, sit down or something.
Maya was sleeping in this. The latest one.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah, so this is our neighborhood. One of these places. That was the first one I was looking at. Ah, there we go. Revo circle.